At the bottom of your screen, there is a chat. Elizabeth, I hope you're not driving. Um, at the bottom of the screen, you can see a chat and you can enter your name and where you are in the world. That'd be really nice. So I am Ami in New York, and it'd be lovely to see where you people are. Um, Chicago, Georgia, Florida, North Carolina. Um, who's Philadelphia? And here comes Brazil, Egypt. My God. Thank you. Hawaii. Okay. Kenya. 40 people already. We're gonna wait a couple of minutes to let people in. Hola, Elena. Um, and let me get rid of this. It is our last call of the week and of the last, I think, 10 days. We've done 12 of these. Hopefully the dozen goes well. Harbonak. You should have also, I think, did you all receive an email from me like in the last hour talking about local meetups? Yes. Did you see an email in your inbox? Yes. Email is a funny tool. It works. It doesn't work. You got the email. Wonderful. Thank you. Nairobi, Lewis from Israel, Raunak from India. Wonderful. Thank you. Hamburg. Okay. Hamburg and Kiev. Where are you now? Where is Lana? Hamburg or Kiev? Hamburg? Who said they're in Hamburg? Yes, Olga. Yes. Olga, we'll start in a second. I was in Hamburg many years ago with a very old girlfriend, and she told me that in Hamburg there are more bridges than in Venice, or more. Yeah, that there are many bridges in Hamburg. Anyway, that stayed with me. Hello, everyone. Welcome. It is Friday. I can't say good afternoon or good evening because you're all at different time zones. Hi, Lielt. It is, we have about 50 people here. We'll start now. Can I recognize a couple of faces. Who's been here before? Just raise your hand for just a second. Beth and Augustine, and yes. So most of you have not. Please, if you have, please bear with me. This is the last meeting that we'll do in the format that we've been doing for the last 10 days. Next week, we'll go to a different kind of format with more updates. But this time, we're still introducing and doing the same thing that we did these previous 10 days for everyone this is the first time. So if you've heard this before, apologize and bear with me for a few minutes, and then we'll open up again to conversation and questions, okay? So, hi, Madeline. Good to see you. Put a face again. Also, Hamburg. No, Berlin. Where are you? Hamburg. Berlin. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Also, okay. So my name is Ami, and thank you all for being here. I said at the bottom you have this chat. That you can use for saying where you are. And also at some point, we'll open this up for questions. So also at the bottom of your screen, it says Q&A. And if you don't mind, use that for questions. Otherwise, the questions will get lost in the chat or we'll raise hands and we'll actually have a conversation. So again, for those of you who have not been here before, I sent you an email about 2 weeks ago, I think it was Thursday and Friday, inviting people around the world to help start something that we can do together. The email said that we would love to find 1,000 people to help launch this. 8,000 of you responded. So 8,000 people actually go back to us, which has been wonderful. And I was telling somebody here, this is after just one email. All the marketing people say you have to touch people 7 times. So one email got 8,000 of you here, which is pretty wonderful. And then after that, we started having these Zoom calls last Tuesday, so only 10 days ago. Last week, we had, I think, 7 of them, about 200 or 300 people per meeting. And then this week, they have been somewhat smaller because catching up with those who couldn't make it. There are 60 of you here right now. I know it's a bit strange, or maybe wonderful or strange, to come into a Zoom call and see a bunch of people that you don't know. Usually on Zoom, we either attend a webinar where someone speaks at us and we don't see anybody, or we see people, but they tend to be people that sorry, just letting more people in. There are 4 more people waiting to get in. We'll let them in. Usually, you know the people you meet with on Zoom. Here we decided to go for this idea that we want to see each other. We want you to see each other's faces. And so this is not a webinar, and you'll also hopefully will hear from you. Matt, sorry, I'm seeing people in the waiting room all the time. I'm not sure why. That we'll get those, yeah, out of the way. So
if you can ignore it as best you can, that'd be a good idea. Thank you.
I will totally do that. It just pops up. Sorry about that. Another 5 people just joined us. Hello. So again, we see those on video. We don't see those who we do not. A couple of things. So I sent you that email because I think that we at Idealist, and also I think many of you, hopefully, think that believe that the world and the neighborhoods and the communities that we live in could and should be better. I think that's a fundamental belief that many of us feel. I think that it's more than that. I believe strongly that in thinking that way, we are actually correct. This is true. And I think we know that this is true for two really basic reasons, at least, apart from all the things that we believe and we think. One is, if we're old enough, and I think all of you are old enough, we have seen in our lives a street, a school, a city, a neighborhood get better, right? We've all seen this. We've all seen a school that was bad get better, a city that was doing badly get better, etc. And so we as human beings can extrapolate from that. We can say, well, if that city got better, if this street got better, more can get better, right? This is something that we can look at. The second piece that is more personal, I think, is that all of us at some point in our lives most of us have been fortunate enough to be part of a group that was assigned a task, a group of good people that was assigned a task that was nice to do, and then just unleashed creatively to work with a team of people to make something good, beautiful, big, wonderful. We've all experienced that feeling. And I think we're going to again extrapolate from what would happen if many of us could do some wonderful things together. So we all believe that the world, I think, could and should be better. There's plenty to complain about, but this is not so much about that. And so the idea here, the basic idea that we want to share with you and that we invite you to, was by asking, what if once a month on a given day, everyone around the world, or many people around the world, on a given synchronized day, did at least one good thing to make the world around us better, and thereby inspired many others to also do. And the more we do, the more that will happen. And that's sort of the basic idea. And then to start, we can do much more with that. And then we thought, these dates, that exist all over the world, where 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, etc. That these are the dates that happen to sort of work everywhere, right? So 3/7 is March 7th here, is July 3rd there, but 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, those 12 days work everywhere, and they also seem to be extremely memorable. So we sort of took those days and we said, what if at least once a month we did something good on those days? So that's why we invited you. We shared also sort of a video with you, and then started having these meetings and listening to people around the world and what they thought about this. So hopefully, so far so good. That's why you're here. What I want to do today is I'm going to share my screen in a second for just a few minutes, take you through a little bit about how we imagine this 5/5, this first day that we want to sort of go bigger with this, and then see what you think and what questions and comments and ideas people have. Why 5/5? Simply because we realized, experimenting with this idea for a while over the last few years, before COVID and a little bit after COVID, locally, a bit on Facebook and different places, we realized that if we want to do something, a bigger launch and work with more people, that people need some time. Human beings need some time to plan, to digest, to get together. And if you're always trying to aim for the next month, it's always 2 or 3 weeks away, you can't really do much. And so we said, let's pick a date deliberately, 3 or 4 months out, 2 or 3 months out, so we can actually plan something together and make it bigger. That was the first sort of piece of input and just thought that we got and that we realized over time. And then the second one was, many people, I think, have asked us, well, I can do anything. What should I do? Is there a theme? Is there one unifying idea? Where should we start from? And that led us first to a sort of bad idea. And then from there, we had a better idea. The bad idea was that I thought it'd be wonderful to see the sunrise together around the world. These days have to start somewhere, so the sun rises. And I realized, the sunrise is actually dark, and it could be, scary and cold and very early. So what happens after sunrise? We get up around the world, and we somehow start our day with some kind of breakfast, coffee, tea, whatever. And so what if we start our day that day by having breakfast together around the world, a global community breakfast, we called it. We then expanded that, as you'll see in a second, It doesn't have to be in the morning. We said, we're a 24-hour restaurant. Anyone can participate at any time, and you're all welcome to do it anytime. And second, as you'll see in a second, the meaning of it and what it can encompass can be quite varied and broad. So I will share my screen for a sec and see what it is that we can do. Let me just look at a little piece of paper here. Yeah, just two quick more things before we start really quickly. One is communication. We're going to be in touch with each other and with you by email, through the web. We just sent this email out asking people to volunteer to help people converge locally. That has been the biggest piece of feedback for the last 10 days. People would love to be able to connect with other people in their country, their city, their state. And so we're going to make that happen by having some people sort of seed that and then have people gather with them. And that's going to happen over the next week or two. And then we're going to use whatever tools we can use, LinkedIn, Facebook, WhatsApp, whatever, to communicate with each other. And then lastly, just a really quick point. I've had some emails from people, writing me and asking for a visa to the United States or a job or financial assistance. And I just can't do that. I mean, it's a big idea, but we're a small organization and personally. And so just to be clear, sort of once that we cannot provide that kind of direct support. I would love to be able to send a visa to everyone to meet somewhere. I'd love to be able to send a flight ticket to everyone. It'd be wonderful to have a big party. I wish I could. I am not one of those billionaires, and so I can't do it. So just to be clear that we cannot provide that kind of direct financial support. So on that note, let me share my screen for a second, and then we will go from there. Let me just look at the chat for one moment to see if... Okay, Madeline and Olga connecting in Hamburg. That makes me very happy. Okay, let me open my screen here, share my screen. After 12 times of doing this, some things become, can someone smile or say yes or no? You can see my screen. David did the roll this time. Thank you, David. We'll let you tell people later what you do, David, which is important. Okay, I'm seeing you all again. So what this thing says on your screen, I hope, is let's imagine 5-5. It's going to be much easier if I can get my cursor to go there. Sorry, cursor, where are you? I'm sorry, one second. I'm trying to change screen here, and my cursor is being somewhat annoying. There it is. Okay, found it. You go away. I'm seeing that stuff now. Matthew, I never saw this stuff before. It's weird. That's why I asked you earlier. Anyway, so let's imagine 5-5. And basically, as I said earlier, the idea here was, how do we do something? Can we find something that's a couple months away that would work everywhere, that any person could participate? And we'll talk in a second how that kind of participation can encompass so much. And that would achieve two things at the same time: to strengthen local connections, neighbors, friends, colleagues, etc., locally, while also, I think, showing and seeing and celebrating all of our shared humanity. Right now, there are too many people around the world who try to tell us that those people over there are bad people. They're not like us. They are not as kind as we are over there. They're not as great as we are. And it'd be nice to show that all over the world, there are wonderful people who share these basic values that we mentioned: dignity and freedom and kindness and respect and generosity and solidarity. They exist everywhere. It'd be lovely to actually show that. And then something that would be easy to do, and again, beautiful to see. So we started with this idea that we call this global community breakfast on 5-5, put up this page on this tool called Luma that we'll tell you more about. It's a free tool for organizing events. It is free. It works really well. Any of you can use it and sort of set it up and organize anything. And then any event you do can go into one unified calendar that all of us can see around the world and sort of promote each other's work that way. Some of you saw this when you first signed up. That's why you see almost 3,700 people now in the real one signed up. Matthew can share the link with you. It's luma.com/idealistday55. So you can see it there. The idea here was to gather people in one place to show the interest. And then from here, we will divide locally and do stuff locally. This will stay here. because that day we'll also be here online all day, and so people can join us through that. One last thing about this page, you can see the on top there, there's this photo of just four hands with some food having breakfast. And basically what this is trying to signify is that anything counts. Nothing is too small. So if someone anywhere in the world happens to be alone at home, or you're in a repressive regime and you can't meet with people or can't show your face, great. Get up that morning, take your phone, take a cup of what you have for coffee, hold it up, even use your cup to cover your face and participate that way. Nothing is too small. In this case, these happen to be my daughters, my wife, and my mother-in-law in Spain last summer. But it's just a nice way of showing that anything is nothing is too small, and anyone with any kind of internet connection can participate, or at least share and participate even without a connection. So that was that piece. And then showing that it can be as big as, for example, in this case, crossing the Brooklyn Bridge at sunrise. That sunrise idea stayed with me. And when we first, thought of doing this thing on 5.5, I spoke with Matthew here, and we said, if we're going to ask people around the world to do something, what are we going to do? So we both live in Brooklyn, and we said, hey, let's walk across the bridge at 6 a.m. in the morning. So we put up this event. Haven't really promoted it yet, and already close to 200 people want to come do this. And so just as an example of everything from just a photo of a hand all the way to hundreds of people crossing a bridge together, and then having breakfast on the other side, and then starting other things that day. Okay, so just to show the breadth of what's possible and seeing it all in one place. So just a couple more ideas I'd love to share with you. One is and the idea here behind these, I'm going to go through a list of possible ideas for that day, with the goal that hopefully at least one of those appeals to you, and you can think, oh, I can do that, or I can do three of those, or I can combine two of those, or I can think of one that's not here, and I can then do that alone with others, etc. So just a few quick ideas to run by you, and then we'll come back to talk. One is, I think, the most obvious one that people think of when if you say global community breakfast, people think of neighbors. And yes, obviously getting together with new or longtime neighbors where you live. There are two ways to, some people know their neighbors, of course, and you could just invite them to come over and do something nice on the street, outside, in a house, wherever. Some people don't know their neighbors. I know it's been interesting over the last couple of weeks talking to people here from different countries, and how, some of us here in the US, for example, don't know our neighbors. In other countries, it's unimaginable. People think it's insane. What do you mean you don't know your neighbors? How is that even possible, right? So like physically possible. Of course, I know my neighbors. So use this opportunity maybe to say, hey, we've been living here for a while. People around the world are getting together today. I'm not crazy for knocking on your doors. It's not just me. Come on out. I have some cookies, and let's talk about how to make our street, our neighborhood a bit better. What can we share? Could I water your plants when you're away? Whatever, right? So that's just a basic neighbor thing. The same thing happens with professional colleagues. In many cities, in many places, there are associations or networks or groups of people that meet, by profession, by work, by what they do in life. In other places, it doesn't exist. And people think, it's actually time for all the bakers, all the dentists, all the whatever in our town to get together, maybe network, help each other, see what we can do. Maybe bring a speaker, maybe do it once in a while, maybe not, etc. So that's, a third option. Some people, some of us, some of you, we know this, for a long time have been thinking of starting something, a neighborhood association, a giving circle where people get together and put some money in and then decide who to give it to, any kind of local group. So maybe use the excuse, use the prompt, use the milestone, the deadline to say, I'm going to finally do it that day. And so you go and you do this. One that I really, really love, this idea that in many places that we work or live, there is someone who constantly does things for all of us, keeps the place going, basically. And often we don't remember to thank that person, to honor that person. So maybe that day we just celebrate this person that is doing wonderful things for us at some point. That would be nice. Call up the doorman of the building to your office. The elevator opens and everyone claps for them because they're wonderful. Just that would be wonderful. Why not? If you work for a for a nonprofit, for an NGO, maybe host an open house where you invite people in the city to come on over and just walk in and see what you guys do. What is it this place does? Friends, volunteers, donors, come see what we do, inside or outside. You run a museum, stay open all night, just because why not? And see what happens. Make it free. I don't know. We'll see. Some people have a personality to basically take a table, put it outside, put some coffee on it, and just talk to people passing by about what they care about, what they want to do, maybe have some interviews, maybe have a computer like this one on a table, and have people see that around the world this is going on at the same time over these 24 hours, and they can then come and join us next time. Any group you belong to can put little post-its on the wall, little sticky notes, have some good questions, and brainstorm some things to do. That's another beautiful looking thing that can happen. Use that day not for doing something, but for planning a bigger thing, and have a planning meeting that you can call. Switching gears for a second, invite friends to just like take a walk or a hike or a bike ride and then get some coffee. On the same note, meditation, yoga, dance, anything that makes people happy. Go to a senior center, have breakfast there with the people who live there. Someone last week combined those two and said, I'm part of a singing group, an a cappella group. I'll take my group to the senior home to sing for the older people and then have breakfast with them. Why not? Do the same thing at a school. Actually serve breakfast somewhere where people are eating, like a shelter or a soup kitchen. And again, last switch of gears, go, pull up our sleeves and clean up a beach, a river, a street, paint a mural, plant a tree, some flowers, anything. One flower, 1,000 trees, like the one in the email I just sent you. Play a game. We'll come back to that in a second. Simply raise funds, raise money together for a cause that you believe in, and hand it over. And then if all of this effort helps us just help one person do something they've been wanting to do for a while, that on its own would be wonderful. And then lastly, last bullet on this whole list, whatever you do, please take a photo so we can inspire more people to then do it next time. So that's what I wanted to share with you now briefly. Let me go here and stop sharing my screen and add a couple of just things before we open this up for questions. I see there are a couple of questions already, but let me just say a couple of things and we'll come back to that. The really important thing I said about the bridge or about playing games, if we want to do this month after month after month into the future, and the vision here, people have asked, what's the end goal? Imagine us, all of us, at the end of next year, so the end of 27, starting on 5/5, having done something like this 20 times, and basically every month going wider, deeper, sharing more ideas, reaching more people, with the aim that, at some point, any two people anywhere that want to connect around something we want to do together know where to find each other. Any person that feels the urge to do something has a place to start and who to start with. And any idea worth sharing is being shared. And that we can build a mechanism for that with this amazing tech that we have and other tools that we have. So for that to happen month after month after month, I think it's important to say that it should be fun. It should be whimsical. It can't just be about, oh my God, the world is ending and we're all sad and angry. People won't come. They'll come once, or you'll get the wrong people. You get all the angry people to show up again and again, and that will be even less fun. So it's important to say, we're going to do, we're going to build, we're going to organize, we're going to protest, we're going to get things done. And we're also going to smile and laugh and dance. Otherwise, people won't come back. If you think about a monthly, rhythm, and of course, not everyone has to participate every time. It just happens every month, and you can participate when you want. Is that you don't want to have a situation where people think, oh my God, that day is coming again this month. Where do I hide so no one asks me to do anything? You don't want that. You want, oh, this is coming. That's lovely. What wonderful surprise will await me this time when I leave my house, right? You want that kind of joy. And several years ago, my wife and I were in Paris. I think it was June 21st. I think it was that day of the year, it's called the equinox anyway, the June 21st. And it's a day in which every musician in Paris, choruses, bands, orchestras, soloists are encouraged to come out to the street and play. And so wherever you walk, every block or two, someone is making music. And it's just wonderful. So this feeling of like next month, can something wonderful happen where we are? So that's a basic idea. Where we are now is that 2 or 3 sort of important things are happening over the next week or two. One, as I said, we'll try to start meeting locally. so that people can see they're not alone, find a partner to plan with. We would love to be able to take all of your 8,000 emails and names and just share with all of you. You can find each other. That obviously can't work. So we're going to find local people that are going to basically seed a local group that can then go, and you can decide together locally how you want to communicate. WhatsApp, Facebook, Discord, Slack, whatever works for people will work. But first is to just get together locally. Second, right now, there's been this interesting thing where we wanted to go step by step. In the last 2 weeks, I sent you an email, the email linked to a video and to a sign-up form. That then led to these meetings. But if you send a friend to Idealist right now, they'll find none of this. It's been like the side funnel that we've gone through. So in next week, you'll be able to find all of this on Idealist. So you can also share with a friend and see when the next Zoom call is coming, and the stuff will all be there. And we don't have to sort of go like this. So those two big things are important. And then we'll provide examples and some guidelines for sort of local activities that can happen. Share Luma with all of you, so you can sort of use that to post your events and invite your friends and add it to one big calendar. It'll be luma.com/idealist. You'll see events begin to pop up there over the next month or two. It'd be lovely if we use, March, the month of March, to organize local things. And then April, we start inviting our neighbors and our friends to join us on May 5th. And whoever misses it can then join us on the 6/6, 7/7. That's a beauty. If you missed one, you can come later. Last thing to say, these events, as you said, can be very, very varied. We're going to ask all of you or anyone organizing anything to please do 3 things in common for all of them. One really basic, which may seem obvious, but all of us, I think, are capable of forgetting even some of the most obvious things. One is, as you organize before, during, please tell people what is going on, right? You can imagine a situation where you invite 10 friends to, have hot cocoa in the morning and think about your neighborhood and literally forget to tell them that there's a big thing going around the world. It's not just our street. So please remember to tell people what is going on. That's one. 2, at the end, we'll ask you to report back sort of what happened. Just let us know, tell the story. This happened. Here are some photos. Here's what people said. Here's some questions that were raised. So we'll have a way to do that, to report back. And then in the middle, at some point, it'd be nice if you ask everyone there, just ask them, because people sometimes will do things if you ask them, to just take out their phone and take a photo and go on whatever it is that they use, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever, and tell their friends that this is happening and that this will happen again on 6/6, 7/7. And that'd be wonderful if they join us, so that in your place, in your city, in your country, this becomes bigger and deeper and more good things happen. So that's the basic idea. I think I've said enough. I've been talking for 29 minutes. I will look at the Q&A for a second and see. There's a very specific question from someone who wants to know if we have a room for a machine learning volunteer. I'm not sure, Mohammed, but if you write me, we can sort of see if we can do anything with that specifically. If anyone has any other question now that you want to share in the Q&A, and or raise your hand. And hello, Stephanie Shapiro. It is good to see you. Raise your hand if you'd like to sort of add anything, say anything, share how you're feeling. I don't know, I think, or I'm going to maybe pick on somebody. Hello, Beth, go for it. Matthew will give you the mic.
I got it. Okay, I wondered if we could somehow have T-shirts with the Idealist logo and the word. And so we could, when we do activities, people will ask us, what's that about? And we're gonna, that will lead us to talk about Idealist. And we may even wear them other times besides our activities, and people will ask about it. And I wondered if maybe there's an individual or a group among these 8,000 that knows how to produce a lot of T-shirts and manage this, that would do that, and we would buy them. Or if you would rather have it yourself at Idealist, if you've got someone in the staff that can do this for us. But I'd like there to be a way to have T-shirts, and I don't know how to do it myself.
Thank you, Beth. So there are two options, or at least several options. One option, so first of all, one thing to just say, that logo that you mentioned, this thing here, that's not really, in a sense, our logo. That is your logo. The point is for you to take it and do whatever you want with it, and we sort of mean that. I don't know if Matthew can reach for, he can show you in a second, he can link to a page where you can see this huge sort of collage of what people have done this and sort of surprise us with what's possible with that logo. So that's one thing. In terms of getting a t-shirt, there are really two options. One is, I think still there's a place called zazzle.com/idealist. We can put the link for you. It's a place where you can order things. They make it expensive. It's not for us. It's this company that produces thing and ships it and makes it expensive. The thing that we've seen that works the best is when people take the logo and just do it on their own. So in your case, Beth, we'll try to find a way to get you a t-shirt if you can't, do it on your own. But it's really been wonderful when people just take it, paint it, print their own, do whatever they want. It's better than, it works better, it looks better than when we sell it. The other thing to try to do is to find a way to have it happen locally and near you. So we'll try to make it, Beth. We'll try to do that so it can also get to you. And it can be t-shirts, buttons, whatever you want. Okay? Thank you for that. Osama.
Hello. I'm very happy to be with you. I just have a question about how you send emails, because I told Mr. Matthew, because I didn't receive just the email that contained the video you recorded. So I think that there is an issue with that. So if you can fix it, it will be so helpful for me.
Thank you, Osama. Where are you, Osama? Where are you in the world?
I'm from Syria.
Thank you. So the problem with email, I think those of you so email can be sort of fickle. It can be you send email out to many people, and sometimes it goes into a spam folder, it goes into a promotions folder. We can't control how your Google sort of handles it, which is why we also want to be in touch with you at the same time. So we use a tool called Iterable. It doesn't matter. We send emails out. They tend to reach people. Sometimes they may not, which is why we also want to be in touch by WhatsApp and Facebook groups and LinkedIn. And so that way you won't miss it. And also, what I said at the beginning, you should be able to just go to Idealist whenever you want and see what's happening there without needing us to email you. So we'll try to do what we can. Email can be tricky sometimes. Please check your spam folder or your promotions and tell Google, if that's what you use, Gmail, that this is not spam. Okay, then Gmail, I think, will tend to respect that. Rose Mabua, where are you? You have to turn on your mic, Rose. There you go. Yes.
So I'm in Chicago. This is my second meeting. I met the first time last week. My question is, maybe I missed it. So I already organized an event, and I'm wondering, can we post?
Please. So that's also gonna happen. So if you simply right now, if you want to use that tool, if you go to luma.com and you set up an account for yourself, it's very, very quick and easy. You post your event, you then come to luma.com/idealist. We'll send you all these instructions, and you say submit event, and suddenly it'll be in the calendar and we're all going to see it. But we'll send you some clear instructions next week about exactly how to do it. Okay? Rose,
Okay.
What are you doing? What are you organizing?
So there is an organization called Feed My Starving Children, and we went and organized food boxes to be sent around the world for children.
Thank you. Who else? Matthew, something is happening to the video there at the bottom. There we go. Jihadist Unicorn. I don't know what that is. Can you see? There we go. Thank you. Okie dokie. Stephanie. One sec, Stephanie. I think you can turn your mic on.
Now I can. Hi.
Thank you.
I just want to, first of all, I think this is a beautiful movement. And I just want to acknowledge that what I keep hearing from people is that they're unsettled about things in their community or things in their country, and they have energy and drive to change, and they don't know what to do. And the only things that we're being told or that we're being offered is to protest or contact your representative. And what I love about this is that it's taking it and it's saying, I'm going to give you the tools, I'm going to give you the structure to pull people together and decide what you want to do. And I think that's so so critical right now. And I have so many, I mean, my background is in learning and development, as we've kind of emailed a little bit. And I really challenge everyone to start creating the tools that when you bring people together, how do you structure the team? How do you decide what the outcome is going to be? How do you put together the project? How do you assign roles to people? And then you mobilize them. And so I'm so excited to continue building this, because what I don't want to happen is that people gather and they're motivated and inspired, and then it fizzles out. But if we start putting real structure and real toolkits around this, then we'll start to see little things pop up all around the world. And that concept of me being able to go anywhere in the world and meet an idealist change maker is like a beautiful thing. So I just want to say I'm ready.
Thank you, Stephanie. Let me just say two quick things about it. First, thank you, Stephanie, for that, for those things. We definitely do not want this to fizzle out, and I hope it won't, given the things so far. I think structure matters. I think ideas. I think also there's a very big breadth. Some people want more, some people want less.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to give people a menu and have
Yeah.
people take as much as they want. One last thing about you think that you said about going around the world. If anyone knows anyone high up at Airbnb, we would love to talk to them. I think I could not think of a better partnership than them telling everyone that is staying at one of their houses or is a host
Mm-hmm.
that once a month go out into the community and basically see what local people are doing and join them. And it'd be lovely. Imagine if every host in the world, every Airbnb host, left a note to their person that came to the house. By the way, next week on 5/5 or 6/6, these 10 things are happening in our town. Go check them out. You'll meet some wonderful people. So that feels like a really good partnership. Jamie Goodwin.
Hi, thank you for allowing me to speak. I just want to say I have a lot of experience with tabling, senior centers, picnics, education, children, the field. I don't know. I just found this thing to share because I thought it was cute. Everybody likes little things like this, and like you said, it doesn't start much. I got a penny right here. You just throw that in a coin jar. The day when pigs fly. That's why I think you put that in a reason. Save
Cool.
it. A lot of people like demonizing these things, and they help a lot of people. And it is art. It comes from ceramics and Nordic mythology, and it's a lot to look into. And thank you for letting me speak. Everything else is in that form. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? David, why don't you tell us what you do? David Stiers, raise your hand. Matthew, there you go.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate, again, Ami, you pulling all of us together. My name is David Stiers. I coordinate what's known as the Volunteer Groups Alliance and serve as the representative for volunteers at the United Nations. And the 193 member states of the United Nations actually do care about the role volunteers are playing across the globe, particularly in the delivery of what's known as the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. And these have been around for over a decade now. And so some of you may be familiar with the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And what we do is try to show the role that volunteers play in achieving those Sustainable Development Goals. And they are as broad as no poverty, no hunger, good health, climate change. And so as you're thinking about your volunteer projects, one thing you could think about is how does your volunteer project actually help contribute to the achievement of these Sustainable Development Goals? And when they were adopted by the United Nations in 2015, there was sort of an idea of a 15-year window that by 2030, we were going to achieve these, again, very, very large goals that have been with humankind since the beginning of time. And so we have certainly not made the progress on them that we would like to make. But what we have seen is that truly volunteers are critical in their development. And I'll put into the link, if you're not familiar with them, what the 17 goals are. And again, as you're coming up with your Idealist Day projects, just think about how any of them might fit to any of these goals.
Thank you, David. And David is a modest man, and his job is to represent every volunteer in the world at the UN. That's basically he is the guy. So if you have complaints about the UN, go to David. And also, David's association represents essentially these massive groups around the world that represent local volunteering agencies. And so through him, we can reach many, many more people and invite them to join us. Brain Uma, where are you?
Thank you. I'm Brian Uma from Kenya. Actually, I just wanted to raise one question. Is there any possible way that you can find or form a group that can help us to maybe to reach other people from various countries, so that at least we can share various ideas and come together with the different activities that we have mentioned, especially the ones that we have discussed at this moment. But majorly, my main intention, or actually my main question is there any way that we can come up with maybe a WhatsApp group we form, so that at least we can be able to reach people from various countries? Thank you.
Thanks, Brain. Yeah, so we said at the beginning there are two things that we want to do, that we need to do. One, already with 8,000 people, and we're going to be more soon. One WhatsApp group for 8,000 people, I think, is way too messy with many, many messages from thousands of people. So two things are going to happen. One, they're going to be local groups beginning in the next few days. We're going to start sharing, groups by country or city. And then also a bigger group, maybe not using WhatsApp. We'll figure it out. But basically, we're going to find ways to all connect globally, but also locally in the most efficient ways. Okay, so that's coming soon. Thank you. Anne Neville, is that how you pronounce your name? I'm seeing you thinking nonstop. What are you thinking? Do you want to say?
Oh, I'm just taking it all in. I am someone, I really liked hearing what Stephanie had to say. I kind of come from an education standpoint and put together events and programs and somewhat of a convener. So I'm just kind of taking all of this in and appreciate all of the organization and yeah, just look forward to it. I've also participated in the nonprofit Hive and the Idealist days there, and I know Tim Parsons, so I'm just happy to have joined. And yeah, so I'm just kind of looking around and taking it in and connecting with a couple of people.
Everyone knows Tim Parsons, and thank you for being there with Tasha and the Hive. I forgot one really important thing about what Stephanie said earlier, that we're told to basically respond, protest. We're told to react. And I love it personally when I have a day that is so busy that I haven't even had time to see the news. That to me actually is a good day. I was so busy, I was so focused, I didn't have time to go see the news. And I love the idea of, in a sense, us making our own news, right? Us making, like, why do we have to react constantly to what they are doing, wherever they are? Let them react to what we're doing. We can set our own path, our own agenda, our own direction. We don't have to be reacting to what others do. We can create the world that we want as we build it. Marian, you've been with us with like several meetings. You never said anything. You want to say anything? Marian Breeze from Connecticut. Matthew, do you see Marian? She can raise her hand. Marian, want to raise your hand, either your real hand or your Zoom hand, and Matthew will see you. There you go. Marian, the mic is yours.
Hi, so I'm so excited to hear from all these different people and all of these amazing ideas and perspectives. I'm super excited about seeing how this will play out in the coming days and weeks. I'm already thinking about, March 3rd, 3/3, what am I going to put on my LinkedIn profile? 4/4, what am I going to be talking to my neighbors about? And then of course 5/5. The sort of big launch. And somebody had said in the chat about saying using the hashtag Idealist Day. One of the things I think we can all do is either put that in Facebook, ask me about Idealist Day, or on our LinkedIn profile, ask me about Idealist Day, and just start the conversations now. Yeah, it's just super exciting to be here. So thanks for having me.
Thank you. Okay, I don't know. It's 2:46 or whatever, something 46. We can begin wishing everyone a good weekend. We can, yeah, I'd love to know how many time zones are represented here last night. Why don't you, do we want to go into the chat for 1 second and just write down what time is it where you are? That would just be cool to see. Do people mind for a second as we close down? Just it'd be really interesting to see the times that people just write. So here it's 2:46, 20:46, 8:46, 2:46. Okay, 1:46. 11:46. My God. Okay, 1:16. You need to go to bed. 1:16 in India. How many of you know that India has a time zone that is half an hour later? So India is 10.5 hours away from us. You see that somebody Ronak wrote 1:16 in India because he's 10.5 hours away from us. And they do this half-hour thing, which is fascinating. So some of us learned something today, which is great. I think it's the only place that that does that. So thank you all. My colleague Matthew likes to do this thing at the end of these meetings that he'll tell you about now, and I will shut down my mic, and Mike will tell you what he wants to do.
Hey everyone, I'm the senior producer here, and I love taking pictures and videos. So I would love to take a picture with all of you. So if you'd like to turn on your camera, you can. And we're gonna do a group photo. So anyway, if you want to, there's reactions down at the bottom of your screen. If you look at your menu next to the share button, you can make hearts come up or all sorts of fun stuff. And then depending on what kind of computer you have, you might have different reactions. So you can go ahead and do any of those reactions in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Amazing.
Also, Matthew, we were joined. Thank you so much. We're joined, I think, by our friend Angelica from Poland, who I think wants to say something. Angelica, is your hand raised, or was that an accident?
Okay, yeah, it's not an accident. Hi, I'm Angelica from Poland. It's not my first meeting, let's say. I would like to ask you if we can do something like this. To foster community, when we will post photos from Idealist Day, we will use hashtag Idealist Day, right? And on your website, you should have the ability to use the API, so the photos of ours will be visible for everyone around the world, right? So every next month, the photos will be new, right? Because new people will add the photos. And I think that would show, yeah, basically the community, right? So that's my idea. And another thing I would like to ask, because I've got the presentation, and if on May I can present you some ideas that we can do to gather community like more, you know, to do more good basically around the world. Yeah, so that's all.
Okay. Thank you, Angelica. Have a good night there.
Thank you.
As we leave, Matthew is now. Thank you all for a wonderful week. Matthew is turning on all the mics. I mean, you can ask to sort of unmute yourself and say good night, and you can hear everyone's voice if you want. So yes, you can literally unmute now and just say good night, goodbye, thank you.
Good night, goodbye. Thank you, everybody.
Good night. Have a good day.
Thank you. We'll talk again very soon. I'm
Rest
so
of your day
happy.
and evening. Good night.
Bye.
Good night,
Yes.
Manny. Have a great
Everybody sleep
weekend.
if you can.
See you soon, Manny.
Stay safe,
Say
everyone.
money, yes.
Thanks, Tommy.
Bye.
Nice
In
to you.
contact.
Bye.
Thank you, Ami.
Well,
Thank you,
goodbye.
Matthew.
Thanks, Kevin.
Good night, Army.
Bye. Thank you, Madeline.
Bye, Matthew. Nice to meet you again.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone, or good morning.